Whatever.
It's more of a topic it would be. And here we go, we're live. Because he just presses the button without saying I'm pressing it.
Sorry.
But yeah, as I was saying, we're here to review the DK Books, WWE Top 10. Top 10's, DK Books. DK.
Oh, is yours hardcover?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, this one is soft cover.
This one's also paid for.
True.
Always
This one was paid for, just not by me.
Yeah, exactly. Always support your local books.
Always support your local library.
I'd rather buy books. It means you get more. It means they'll make more.
Yeah.
As you open it up inside, which you can see there, cool picture, but then boom, we get a forward by Jericho. But before we go on to that, I am your host for this one. As always, the award-winning Chriz, aka the Mole.
Mm-hmm.
And joining me in his police narking t-shirt is James Phoenix.
Stay in school, kids.
Yeah, remember, kids, always narc. That won't get you beat up. He's a terrible person. He's a terrible person. You're probably someone who plays GTA 5 online, hacks into it just so you can help the police. But yes. And did you want to, since you like reading lists and you like Jericho, mainly in leather pants, bring it back just for that one joke. Yeah.
Bring it back for that joke. Yep, go for it.
Would you like to read the list of Jericho?
I suppose.
Make sure you start at the top and go down.
Of course.
The only reason I say that is usually you go 10 to 1. This one 10's better to end in.
Yep. Am I reading the paragraph above or just the list?
You can read both if you want.
So, it should be noted this was published last year during the point in time where Jericho was still a heel and allied with Kevin Owens. When the Muttonheads at WWE Books asked me to write an introduction to this tome, I didn't quite see the point. I mean, if they were going to be honest, every list would have Chris Jericho as the #1 entry with my best friend Kevin Owens at #2, right? But after reading an early copy of this, I'd say some of it is good, but most of it, especially the parts not about me, is useless. So if you're going to buy this pile of crapski, since I am the master and creator of the only list that matters, I thought I'd give you something to make your purchase worth it. Chris Jericho's top 10 list of things that should go on the list of Jericho.
Yep.
#1, stupid idiots. #2, stores that don't keep $750 Pashima scarves in stock. 3, dumb idiots. 4, morons that say they are the greatest champion in history, when it's obvious that the right answer is me. Even the monkeys at WWE Books know this. Check out page 160. #5, barbarians who think that sparkle crotch is funny. 6, anybody in the WWE universe who is reading this book instead of one of my 4 best-selling autobiographies. #7, Dean Ambrose, who was responsible for 69 tacks piercing my skin and who still owes me $15,000. #8, Ashton Kutcher, who's still going to get it. #9, idiotic idiots. #10, and finally, you.
Yep. And then you open it up and it goes like that. There's normally a picture for a category and then a list. And straight away with this one, I don't like this list.
Okay.
Only because it's top 10 outrageous superstars. Val Venus been on the list. Approved. Goldust approved. The Dudley family approved. Even the Brood or the Shockmaster, just because of how epic, and same with Gobbledygooker, I will allow, because of how epic Shockmaster and Gobbledygooker's mess-ups were.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have the Boogeyman as #1.
Mm-hmm.
Hornswoggle's on the list. And Damien, and you got like Damien Demento and stuff like that, which is cool, but
Manitor.
yeah, but my problem is, and I don't, like I said, I don't mind something like the Dudley family and stuff. Where's Doink?
Yeah.
Because #4, Hornswoggle. Okay, cool. He's a little tiny wrestler guy. Well, I don't want to say anything derogatory, but he's a little person who comes from underneath the ring.
He's a leprechaun.
Yeah. And then he wasn't when he was Vince's son and got a voice
No.
and stuff. He was a little tiny person. Doink had an army of them, like Dink and Pink, and that instantly means he has in his collection an army of Hornswoggles. That means he should be better than Hornswoggle. It's like saying if I wrote a book of top 10 military powers and put on the list one US soldier and didn't put the rest of the army or the guy in charge of the army on the list, it would make no sense.
Yep.
Unless that guy was Rambo.
Yeah.
But when you have stuff like John Cena rivals and stuff like that,
Yep.
which is pretty good. Now, the thing to note, like I said, people will nitpick certain lists. Hence, I just did that.
Yep.
Oh, it's easy to do. This is the one I really nitpick. Actually, there's a few I nitpick, but
Top 10 WCW heavyweight champions.
Only because they don't give a criteria for what they're ranking them in. And Goldberg is number 6. And Booker T is number 5. I feel like Booker T's number 5, just so you can keep going 5 and doing that. The reason I make the point Goldberg should be higher than Booker T is Goldberg was the guy in WCW, the top face. He was the chosen one. The crowd erupted when he beat Hulk Hogan for the title. The Atlanta Dome thing just erupted. It was amazing. Booker T was always champion as like a second, you know what I mean? When they're trying to push new guys, but you didn't quite feel like he was as good as Goldberg or as good as like Hulk Hogan and stuff. Now Hulk Hogan's on the list at number 3, which is fine. Ric Flair's 1, Sting's 2, that's fine. But Booker T, I feel, should be below Goldberg. Just because Goldberg's importance to the company.
I can see that.
But if it helps, the next list, top 10, is controversial champions, which has David Arquette as number 1.
It does.
It's like this seems to be really funny. Top 10 longest reigns. I swear they only put that on there just as a snub to CM Punk. Because they made a big deal about how long his reign was right before he left, and then suddenly they've gone out their way to list a load of reigns that are better than him. Like even this one, World Heavyweight Champions. So it can't be on length. CM Punk's all the way down at number 5 behind Sheamus. Now, I'd argue Triple H being on the list for World Heavyweight Champions, fair enough. Edge, fair enough. Batista, okay, because he was the face of SmackDown at one point.
Yeah.
CM Punk was awesome as the champion on SmackDown when it was the World Heavyweight Champions. But again, you also have like the female champions list where it's like where you've got stuff like AJ Lee and Nikki Bella on the list as greatest of all time. So I don't mind Nikki Bella. I do like her. As Jim knows. Yep. I just don't think she belongs in the top 7 of all time. Top 10 first champions.
Yep.
Jericho is the first undisputed one.
Y2J.
Which I will argue, that should have been the one he pointed us to in the list.
You would think.
Because the one he points us to in the list is page, what did you say?
130.
160. He says 160. Which is Intercontinental, where he's number 1, which is fair enough.
Yep.
This one is Undisputed Champion as number 1. That's way more important.
True.
I mean, you got like Pat Patterson on the list for number 2. British Bulldog is number 4 as European Champion. I have to give a shout out to him.
Yep.
I like Davey Boy Smith.
Nice.
Before your time.
It was. Also before my time, the number 1 ECW champion, Shane Douglas.
I like the franchise. He's one of the people who, if we ever make a list of top 10 or top 5 on your show, I forget what the hell it's called, Stash Down or something.
Something like that, yeah.
basically, if we ever do one of top 5 wasted talents in WWE, he's going to make my list.
Mm-hmm.
Sting is debatable because of his age, so I don't think
Yeah.
Sting would be. But he's one of those where I argue he was an amazing talent, and when he came to WWE, because of the click and stuff like that, he just kind of got running down and put into really shitty gimmicks.
Yeah.
Whereas he went everywhere else and became champion and was so fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The franchise, Shane Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. Did you want to say anything about any of these lists?
Just that there's a lot of really good lists in this book, and I think it's really cool to see, some of these stats and facts. Obviously, some of them that are more objective are a little questionable.
Let's not call them facts.
Okay, well, some of the lists that are obviously objective are a little questionable in regards to.
Nearly all the lists are completely objective.
No, they're not, because a lot of them are simply based on length of title reigns or.
Yes, some are, but then you got a hell of a lot that are stuff like top 10 championship titles, and it's like which belts they think look the best.
True.
Or which title you think's worthy and best and stuff, and then you got like when I mentioned there, like top 10 greatest managers. And they don't give a criteria for what they're measuring them in.
True.
I'm also shocked that Jim Cornette is not on that list.
That is surprising.
I'm just saying. He belongs to be on that list.
Yep.
But this might have been before they made back up on good terms, because you'll notice whenever they do stuff like this, they snub a lot of people.
Well, to be fair, they put CM Punk on the list of champions.
Really low, below Sheamus.
They put him number 5, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, below Sheamus, and it's like, come on. Like, you also have stuff like top 10 unusual matches.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1's the scaffolding. All the way down to number 10 of Championship Scramble.
Yep.
I'm really surprised Judy Bagwell on a forklift's not on the list. That is you can't say anything other than that is one of the most unusual matches. Mm-hmm. Same with Viagra on a pole.
It is. But Judy Bagwell did end up on one of these lists, didn't she?
Yep. And here's one for you. Top 10 moments in Raw history.
Yes.
Number 3, Ultimate Warrior showing up and telling us he will live forever.
Yep.
I'm not going to make a joke about that. He did die afterwards. You guys can make your own jokes. It's just really funny that's number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can argue, okay, if you're going to put that on the list, and I imagine you're going to put it right at the top. And number 1 is Vince McMahon buying WCW. Number 2 is This Is Your Life with Mankind and The Rock, which was a horrible segment. It was just good because of the people in it. The idea was poor. The beer
As we saw when they tried to redo it with Alexa Bliss a few months ago.
Yeah, but the beer truck is number 7.
Yes.
I would also argue the Alexa Bliss one, for the record, I will go on record as saying that would have worked if it hadn't been Bayley.
Okay.
Because Alexa Bliss is awesome on the microphone.
She is.
Bayley wasn't reacting well. Like, Mick Foley's part in This Is Your Life was pretty shit. It was The Rock's reaction that made it amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd had another diva who could react well, that could have been funny.
Mm.
But the point I'm making is, like I said, it's not objective, because like that one, look, number 7 is the beer truck.
Yes.
Which is normally number 1 most of the time whenever they do like the Raw lists and stuff, when they let the fans vote.
Mm-hmm.
Which means now they're saying, yeah, the fans don't know shit. McMahon shaking hands with Eric Bischoff's a higher moment.
Yep.
The alliance forming is a higher moment.
The pipe bomb promo is a higher moment.
To be fair, the pipe bomb promo, I make the case, has changed wrestling.
It has.
I assume he's going to disappear now.
No, that wasn't for me. Yeah, but I do like some of them where they are, in fact, more factual, like when they had the list of youngest champions. And they listed the age they were at the time. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like number one being Renee Dupree, who won the tag titles at 19.
Yeah. Like I said, some of them are like that, but then a lot of them are stuff like greatest Hell in a Cell matches.
True.
Or Hell in a Cell moments. I do love the fact number one is That's Gotta Be Kane.
Yes.
It's weird that That's Gotta Be Kane has topped Mankind's drop off the cell. Because I prefer Kane's debut. But when people think Hell in a Cell, they think Mankind thrown off.
It's true.
To the point everyone since has tried to recreate that moment. Even that really horrible Sasha Banks Charlotte match where she had to climb down and get thrown through a table.
Yep.
And then we lift up, oh God, are they dead? And you're like, it was like 2 feet into the table. You've never, literally, it's the same height they are during Raw when they go through a table and you don't oversell it that much.
Yep.
What the hell? Which, like I said, some of these are good. Some of them are factual.
Yep.
So, but most of them are just stuff like that.
Yeah, like the top 10 jaw-dropping moments, the exploding limo, like anybody bought that.
To be fair, people didn't have to buy it for it to be jaw-dropping. It's professional wrestling.
This is true.
Did your jaw not drop when, for example, Undertaker's streak ended? Mine didn't, but because I expected that, but I know a lot of people did.
True.
However,
that didn't even make the list.
Yeah. However, it was still pretty. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was still shocking. It's just one of those things. Like, do you buy anything in wrestling much?
True. Well, we didn't have to buy that. We had that guy in the audience to buy it for us.
Yeah. But no, I mean, the limo was just like, it still was like, wait, what just happened? Because I watched it, I thought something was going to happen, but I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be like a DX thing or something like that, like a DX skit or something like that. Then the limo goes boom and blows up. I'm just like, wait, what? Wait, did they just kill Vince off WWE? What? What? And then the next night when they're doing the next week when they're doing the tribute to it, I'm just like, what is going on here? It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Paul London's smile for the win.
Indeed.
I'm also really funny. It's also really funny the top 10 masked superstars.
Now, talk to people who have debated this. Do you think the figure 4 leg lock deserved to be the number 1 submission, or should the sharpshooter have swapped out with it and been number 1?
Honestly, I'm going to make a case that a lot of people may not.
Okay.
It probably should have been something like Hell's Gate. If you're going iconicness, figure 4 was around way before the sharpshooter. I can see why you're going for iconicness just as a move. If you go for a move as a move, Hell's Gate wins because it is an actual UFC submission move. Therefore, it's actually real.
That's true.
Whereas a lot of the other submission moves you get put in and they don't actually hurt.
Yeah,
that one you could believe would hurt because they use it in UFC.
Yeah, I think that's how Brock's Kimura lock made number 9.
Yeah, that's my point. Of if they're more legitimate, that's more awesome.
Yeah, that's true. Also, here's one. How is Edge not number 1 Money in the Bank cash in? What the hell? I mean, I get Seth Rollins was a WrestleMania main event, but come on.
Yep. And just for everyone benefiting at home, if you're watching this live right now, no need to turn over to the other channels. Currently, Seattle is currently beating Green Bay. Yeah, like that'll put butts in seats. Oh God, what have I done? WWE reference for the win. Technically a WCW reference, but still, both counted.
Yep.
Top 10 ladder matches. Jericho v. Shawn Michaels wins.
Yep. You would think it would have been Shawn and Razor Ramon.
That one was the first, but being the first doesn't mean it's the best.
This is true.
I will admit with that one. My favorite is all the way down at number 10.
Okay.
Undertaker Jeff Hardy on Raw.
That was an amazing ladder match. I remember that.
That's my favorite on the list, at least.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites, as I mentioned in the past, is I loved, even though it wasn't supposed to be anything special, it was like a practice one. I liked Bret Hart v Shawn Michaels, which was the first ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, WWE is completely discrediting that and making it sound like Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon invented the ladder match, which is ironic because Bret was the one who invented it and spent like a year telling Vince about the idea and telling him, promise me I will be the guy that you use in this match. This is my match.
Mm-hmm.
And having to push him. And eventually he convinces him and he gets told, oh yeah, it's going to be Shawn v Razor Ramon. And it's WrestleMania 10, which is the one he fought Owen. He wanted it to be him v Owen in a ladder match. That would have been amazing. And I think Jim's froze. That's weird. I'll try communicating to him, but he's froze. But yeah. And like it says on the back, from greatest champions to memorable matches and everything in between, best of WWE is ranked once and for all. Let the countdown begin. And it has superstars from all eras, like it says. Like, just randomly went there. Top 10 RKOs. Okay, I'm guessing he's back now, but I don't know what the hell happened.
My internet cut the hell out randomly for no reason.
Okay. Top 10 RKOs, which is number 1 is Evan Bourne, John Cena, Christian, Triple H, Cactus Jack, Undertaker, CM Punk, Dolph Ziggler, Jeff Hardy, and Seth Rollins. Right, I'm just reading that quickly. Like I said, it covers all areas from Seth Rollins all the way up to Evan Bourne, Undertaker, and stuff like that.
I'm glad that Evan Bourne made number 1 because even Randy Orton himself has said that that's his favorite RKO purely for the logistics of it.
I'm not happy that being number 1.
Why is that?
My favorite one's not even on the list.
Which one's that?
I'm getting to it.
Oh, I know which one it is.
Of course you do. I mentioned it to you before we did this. This was one of the first ones I mentioned about the list. Don't be that guy who gets told something and it's like, oh yeah, I saw that coming. You're not that prick. Boom!
Nice.
Let's see that one more time. Boom!
Slow-mo.
I like that. Just it's only slow because it's a GIF.
Yeah.
And second of all, sorry, that one didn't need to make the list. But yeah, basically, but the RKO to Hulk Hogan should. I can agree with it not being number 1. But if you're going with number 1 just in terms of from a match, I argue the Seth Rollins one should have been number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I loved, you know which one I'm on about? Curb stomp, whoa, all the way into the end. You're like, what the fuck? What the fuck did he just do?
Yep.
That looked fucking awesome.
I do know.
That's all the way down at the bottom of the list, I think. But yeah,
yep.
Basically, and it is worth noting, the American football is sponsored by The Orville by Seth MacFarlane. Which,
according to MacFarlane, is surprisingly appropriate for all ages somehow, despite it being a show by him.
To be fair, he also made Johnny Bravo. Let's not just say he made Family Guy.
Fair enough. I didn't say he made Family Guy, The Cleveland Show, American Dad, that terrible Johnny Wild Bravo. West movie.
Johnny Bravo and a whole load of Cartoon Network shows.
If he didn't make those, he just worked on those.
He also helped do some stuff for them. But I'm like, okay, I'm surprised that it's not just a Star Trek parody from what they've said. It's going to be a parody of all sci-fi or love note. I kind of want to see it when it launches here. Mm-hmm. When it launches here, I may even ask Jim if he wants to do a origin for it.
Yeah, we could do that. That'd be fun.
It might not be relevant at the time of release to America, so I don't know when it comes out here.
Yeah.
But yes. But yes, about the book. Like I said, top 10 lists. Here's the thing. You're going to disagree with a lot of those lists.
Yeah.
But the reason why you'll disagree with it is that's kind of how top 10 lists in WWE always works, or top lists in WWE. Because now, if it's one where it's a statistic, they should just bring out just a statistical book. But they didn't. They threw a couple of those in there to make their fake lists look real.
Legit. Yeah.
Which I may disagree with. But however, as I pointed out with this, of the top of the list, so you're going to disagree with them, but that's just how we are. Like, if I said to Jim right now, Jim, greatest ever tag team of all time.
Road Warriors.
There you go. I'd say, if you asked me, I'd say Heart Foundation. Because I really like the Heart Foundation. But that's the point. And you have to split. I'm not just talking about, when I say like greatest, like for example, greatest Intercontinental Champion.
Jericho, obviously.
Shawn Michaels. Which
is fair enough.
Yeah, that's the point. You got two different wrestling fans here, and we're not going to agree on these.
No.
You're not going to agree with everything in this book unless you just unless you're one of those people that would buy this book and think it's only facts.
Yeah.
But buying a book and basing a whole sort of, I don't know, lifestyle around believing what's inside it completely blind, that'd be a silly thing to do.
Yes.
I'm making a 50 Shades of Grey reference.
You are.
No, I'm not. Like, top 10 terrific tournaments. There's nothing tougher than competing in a series of rapid-fire matches in a fail-safe way to test a superstar's stamina in a tournament. Superstars give all they've got to go the distance. I can go the distance before Jim does it, and claim a title with participant numbers up to a massive 32. Fans can expect feats of endurance, jaw-dropping moves, and plenty of controversy. Number 1, the WWE Championship Tournament from Survivor Series 1998.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with these, when I'm looking down there, they've only ever done one King of the Ring on there. Now, it is cool because it is the first time his pay-per-view event was held. Bret the Hitman Hart defeated Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, and Bam Bam Bigelow, which is fucking awesome.
Yep.
However, I feel that should be higher. Number 9 is the King of the Ring from 2000. The largest in history, in which Kurt Angle wins 5. Mm-hmm. Personally, I prefer the Bret one. But above the Bret one, you've got stuff like the second annual Crockett Cup, which was pretty awesome, but really? It wasn't that big, if that makes sense. Well, it didn't feel that big. When you got to watch it, like King of the Ring was like huge at the time.
It was.
But again, different people will disagree with that.
Yep.
Like, top 10 emotional championship victories.
Yes.
Number 1 was Shawn Michaels. I can see that.
Yep.
Number 2 is Mankind.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't that emotional when he won.
It was kind of. Nobody ever thought a guy that looked like him would be champion.
Nobody thought a guy that looked like David Arquette would be champion. What's your point?
Yeah, Mick Foley earned it. Arquette didn't.
No, Mick Foley didn't earn it. Austin came out and helped him win it. Same thing. And actually, ironically, David Arquette got in the ring and actually won the match. With less interference. There was still interference, but less.
Fair enough.
But, like I said, you got that one. Like, number 3, Eddie Guerrero, fair enough. Number 4, Bayley.
Yeah.
Number 5, Daniel Bryan. Which, 6, Tommy Dreamer. That should have been a lot higher.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Dreamer was the heart and soul of ECW, but he struggled to win the ECW champion. He reached the bittersweet epitome of his career at SummerSlam 2000 when he finally won the title. That's huge. That is emotional.
It is.
Some of the ones on the list, like Bayley and Daniel Bryan, I felt weren't that emotional. Daniel Bryan's, I could go, might be emotional for the fans because of the B+ player stuff and the yes. Fair enough. Bayley above Tommy Dreamer? Come on. And above Ron Simmons. becoming the first African American
champion.
See, it's like, what?
Yeah, I would argue Bayley maybe could have made number 9 or 10 on that list if they had waited for her to get the win at WrestleMania like they should have.
I argue she shouldn't make the list. Because when you look at this stuff like this, you've got loads of people who aren't on the list. Like Bret, when he first won it, was amazing at WrestleMania 10. It was emotional. He literally got lifted onto the shoulders of the locker room, if you want the story part of it, which was cool. He looked emotional. Everyone watching it, like myself and stuff, were like, yes, because he should have won it a year ago at WrestleMania 9. Spoiler, it was Hulk Hogan.
Huh.
In a one that he wasn't scheduled to appear in. But yes, literally, Bret has to go on. He beats Owen in a cage. Well, I think he lost to Owen in the cage. But he goes on to face Yokozuna, wins, gets the title. The locker room holds him up on their shoulders, showing he's the guy. That is emotional as fuck. That's way more emotional than some of the forced ones. Because the Bayley one, when they talk about how emotional it is, I'm not taking away from her victory, but they've done that same emotional ending every time someone's won a female. Every time, except for Oscar, has won the title on NXT recently, they've come out with the flowers, Triple H, the crying, the giving them of stuff. No.
Yeah.
Forced emotion's not as good as mixing it in with, oh my god, we've waited over a year for this. It's fine.
Yeah, with genuine emotion.
Well, as I was saying, like I said, people will disagree with lists on here, and some people, which is fine, but it's still worth getting. It's cheap as hell. Like, according to mine, on the back here, I don't know who publishes Jim's. I'm hoping it's DK Books like ours.
It might be different.
Books. Okay, I wasn't sure if they were a US company or not, because I could only find the UK one to tweet to and stuff, but yeah.
And they liked your tweet.
Weird. But yes, as you can see here, you tweet as a WWE. That's ironic. I tweeted DK. I was supposed to have tweeted WWE Publishing according to the back of the book. Sorry, I went with the people who published it. But yeah, basically.
Burn.
Yeah, funny. But yeah.
Well, as you can see back here, it was a joint effort of WWE Publishing and DK.
And here's what's funnier. How much is yours, Jim?
Mine is $16.99 US.
Mine costs the same as the network.
Nice.
$9.99.
Sweet.
And as you can see, there is people from all areas, which is why the lists are going to be how they are. Because, like I said, I argued Bayley shouldn't have been made that list. However, she's one of the newer people on the list. And some of the lists where you're like, really, that made the list? But then you have to think, wait a minute. They wanted to include people from all areas to say all across the spectrum has greatest stuff.
Makes sense.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'd like to take a moment to thank Mo for bringing this book to my attention and suggesting this review, because I didn't even know this was a thing until Mo bought it. So,
you're welcome. That's why Mo has this.
Exactly.
You'll also appreciate the fact I didn't use this as much in this review.
You did.
Because we had a book. We had something we could use in our hands.
We did.
Just look at our ugly mugs for like an hour. But yes, I was your host for this one, Chriz, Kid Mole, and now is our final thoughts. Taking us away with his final thought out of nowhere is James Phoenix.
It's a really enjoyable book. If you're a WWE fan, this is worth picking up for the price, or getting from your local library. It's a heck of a lot of enjoyable lists in here. Obviously, you're not going to agree, like most said, you're not going to agree with everything, but it's still worth checking out just to, remember all these cool moments and to see whether, whether you do in fact agree with it or not. And, if you, have a friend, read it together and, like we did, just see your differing opinions. And that's a lot of fun in and of itself. It's worthwhile checking it out.
Yep. One thing I think would be fun is one day when we got a spare day, like next month or something, we should go through this ourselves and go through each list and actually give our own favorite top thing for each one and see how it matches up with what's on the list.
That'd be interesting.
Because I think that'd be fun. But yeah,
That would be fun. All right.
But we don't have to do that as a video in case anyone thinks I'm forcing that. We might not actually put down a video in case we end up not doing it, so it doesn't look like we're lying.
Yep.
Like I said, my final thoughts were, like I said, you're not going to agree with everything, but that's part of the fun of these. It's like when you buy the top 50 OMGs or top 100 moments of Raw and stuff like that, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They are available on the network if you don't want to buy the discs. I recommend buying the discs because you get a load of bonus matches and stuff, which it's always fun to have them.
Yep.
Plus, if you ever don't subscribe to the network again, or if WWE decides the network's not working out and change model or something like that, it's good to have it.
Yep.
Yep. And yeah, like I said, I give it a thumbs up. I recommend people go out and buy. I recommend people go out and buy that book. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, definitely. I give this a 90 out of 100. It's a great book. It's going to lose 10 points purely because there are some subjective lists and some things on there that seem a little bit, don't you pushing some agendas and things, but it's still a really enjoyable book, and you should go check it out.
Yep. Which, yeah, like I said, you're going to get that. It's a WWE book. None of them are going to be no WWE book unless it's just statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Is ever going to be unbiased.
It's true.
It's like I'm going to make a case right here that people may be shocked with.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels wasn't a big deal.
Mm.
I don't mean that as an insult. Because I love Shawn Michaels, as you know. I think he is a great in-ring performer.
Yes.
However, if you look at when he was a champion, and you look at the ratings for drawing, and if you look at like when he was in DX and the ratings and stuff like that, they weren't that good. Like WWE finally started to beat WCW after he left DX, and when Austin and Mankind and people like that were on top instead of him.
Yeah, and also WCW started driving NWO into the ground by putting all their roster in it.
Like Bret Hart was a bigger draw than Shawn Michaels. But if you noticed, with Shawn Michaels and Triple H, they were never big draws. Like when Triple H was on top, ratings always went down. That's why WWE themselves, you will notice, constantly feel the need to tell us how great Triple H and Shawn Michaels were now that they're in charge, because they want to push the idea that they are that bigger star. Like Hulk Hogan v Shawn Michaels wasn't a bit. You'll notice not as many people geeked out for that moment as they did The Rock v Hulk Hogan. That was huge. Like I'd argue, people will, just from a technical standpoint with Shawn Michaels, it's like Shawn Michaels v Jericho, Shawn Michaels v AJ. But like Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, you're like, no. Like Bret Hart v Shawn Michaels would have been amazing. Sorry, Bret Hart v Hulk Hogan, if Bret Hart was still able to wrestle, would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Because Bret Hart actually took over from Hogan, blah, 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that now, that may be a little controversial. I'm just saying that now just to show WWE constantly pushes agendas and tries to retell history.
It's true, they do.
Like the history of Eric Bischoff only raiding people's talent pools, which he didn't.
Nope.
Because ironically, most of the talent that he has, most of the talent he got from WWE and also ECW and stuff, went to him and asked for a job.
Yep.
And it's the same shit WWE pulled anyway. That's how they got started. But they would need to push the narrative that Eric Bischoff was just a lucky salesman who happened to have a billionaire's checkbook to just go, no, I'm going to buy Hulk Hogan, I'm going to buy this, buy that, buy that, buy that. That's not how it happened.
No.
I argue with you, like even JBL said on his show, one of the things that WWE doesn't highlight with Eric Bischoff and no one addresses, he took a company that lost money, a lot of money, made them profitable for the first time, and took on WWE and won for months.
He did.
That's not someone who just went, I took to throw money around. That's someone who knows what he was doing. But yeah, like I said, WWE constantly does that, which is fine.
But again, let's be clear. He knew what he was doing in terms of booking. he didn't know what he was doing in terms of let's give everybody on the roster creative control.
That's another thing that's bullshit that WWE have made up. A lot of people from WCW and stuff, when they speak off WWE records, have mentioned no one used creative control. Like, one of the big things is Kevin Nash was a booker, and that's why he ended Goldberg's winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
Nash didn't take over as a booker till after the streak was broken.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, like a week after he beat Goldberg, he did the finger poke of doom. So it's not like he went on for a lengthy title reign.
Yeah.
And it's not like WWE doesn't do that type of shit. Like, CM Punk's red hot. Let's feed him to Nash and Triple H and make it their feud.
Yep.
That's the thing. WWE constantly tries to rewrite history and change what they need for based on what's popular. Like, I argue the only reason Medusa or Alundra Blaze made that book is because she made up with WWE and was in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, they weren't mentioning it. I mentioned her a couple of times, like some of her fans did. WWE didn't.
Nope.
Like, you'll notice Benoit's not in that book, which I can understand why before anyone leads an angry tweet. I can understand why, but I'm just saying WWE constantly pushes agendas and stuff.
They do.
They kind of have to. Any company does, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember like all the stories I've always heard. They're talking about, so we got this picture. They went to Hogan. Hogan's like, no, I want to change it this way. And then went to Nash. And it's like, no, change it that way. And they couldn't get anything done because everybody kept changing everything.
Yeah, that's one of the narratives that people tell when they're from WWE. However, if you look at them off the record, when they're just talking completely, you know what I mean, completely honestly, that didn't happen. That didn't happen that much. And now it is true that multiple people might have changed stuff, but it's not through using creative control or something like that. It's through what happens on WWE TV. We've had that before, where WWE storylines have changed, like at the drop of a hat, because John Cena's not happy or someone else isn't happy, but they're not using creative control. They just go to the people in charge and say, I'm not happy how this is working. And guess what? They don't want to piss off their top stars. That happens. Literally, the owner of WWE right now, or the guy in charge of WWE on TV, and you'll know him because his face is plastered all over NXT at the moment, Triple H. Literally got ahead through politicking.
It's true.
It's part of the business, sadly.
Well, politicking and sex, but yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, I'd argue who he had sex with was politicking.
That's true.
Or it could be genuine love. I'm not going to argue about that. They could have.
Yeah, I mean, they seem. I mean, when you see them, they seem like they're legitimately in love. I mean, I don't doubt that to be necessarily be true. It's just oddly convenient.
Yeah, I've made the joke before now. Triple H isn't in love. If you look at Stephanie, like I said in their photos, whenever they're smiling together, she has a look like, oh my God, I'm with the man of my dreams. And he has a look on his face like, yeah, I fucking own WWE now. Jealous bitch. Like, his smile isn't because he's happy with Stephanie. His smile is because you're going to be upset. But that might just because he has a naturally bumpy forehead.
Might be.
But basically, his forehead's so bumpy, it looks like Yoda's testicles. But yeah, I wish I was Chris, aka the
Random breakfast. What the hell?
Joining me was James Phoenix. Peace. And join us on Tuesday for something.
For something. Good promotion there. We're going to do something. We don't know what it is. Just join us.
I know. It'd be silly to run a network where you don't promote what shows. You're going to be honest, just have a random schedule. Wait, $9.99.
Actually, we don't have anything on Tuesday, but join us next Saturday for Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions.
Yay.
Indeed.
At some point, we still need to review that.
Yep.
I don't know when. Probably next month because we booked this month up.
Mm-hmm.
But that should come.
Yep.
Fortunately, this one is.
Yep. We will review those. And also at some point this.
Did we not review that yet?
No, we haven't reviewed that yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even watched it yet.
So I need to hold up mine.
There you go. Peace.
Yep, and like I said, I'm not joking with that because mine's literally on
Digital, yep.